my name is Rachel, and I love all sorts of crafting. So today I have it's a button making machine, like a pin making machine, like these sort of little things. Like I already have one. These are, I use stickers and scrapbook papers to make these pins. And I have, as you can see, these tiny ones. I have the 1 inch, and I did want something just a little bit larger than the 1 inch. So I wanted a 1 1/4 inch. So that's what I have. Today we're going to unbox my 1 1/4 inch badge maker. This is my 1 inch badge maker right here. And the one that I bought is actually designed a little bit differently than this one, so I'm excited to try it out. I did find it on Amazon. It was somewhere around $50. However, like, it sounds like a good deal because normally they're like $100 to $120 and up. But those ones that are like $100 to $120, you also get 1,000 pin parts, so you can make 1,000 little pins. The $50 one only came with 100 pin parts, and to buy 1,000 pin parts just separately is like another $50. So I would still be paying about $100 if I want the 1,000 pin parts. But just to make the smaller investment, I went ahead and got the one with only 100 pin parts, and then later I can buy more of the pin parts as needed. But here is my box, and we're going to open this up, take a look at assembly, and trying making some pins. So here are my 100 pin parts, and pins are made up of 3 parts. It's actually, there's this metal piece, the plastic piece with pin, and then a little, I think it's Mylar top cover. So those are the pin parts, and you can see like how much bigger just 1 1/4 inch is than the 1 inch. And I don't really want huge pins, so I think 1 1/4 inch is a really good size. I might eventually get the 1 1/2 inch as well, but I think the 1 1/4 inch is a pretty good size there. So here are my instructions. Are all of our pieces. This is a circle cutter because of course you've got to cut your paper out to the same size as these Mylar. I don't like these. I never use these. I find they're kind of difficult to use. I did buy a hole punch, which I'm hoping is the right size. I hope I did my math right on that. So I'll be, if my hole punch is the right size, that's what I'll be using. Our molds. Pieces. And that's everything. I'm hoping you guys can see me. I'm going to assemble it first. So hopefully this is a good place for it. There's a B here, so I'm sure that means something. So this one, see how this whole base swivels. With my old one, my 1 inch one, you slide it to get to the 2 sides. But yeah, this one, the whole thing swivels. Okay, so let's see how we assemble this. I can do the obvious thing first. Screw in the handle. And let's see what we have here. I guess this is to prove that they tested it to make sure it works. They included just a random pin with nothing on it. But I guess that's just like, we tested it, it does work. Okay, so this one I believe is going to be our upper mold, and then I believe those other 2 are our bottom molds. So align bumper with groove. I see the groove. And it just clicks right into place. That was easy. So there was a little groove here, and then there was a little pin sticking out on the mold. So you just had to make sure you align that so that you could just slip that pin right up into that groove, and that just snapped right into place. Step 2, put the right mold on plate B. So how do I know which one is which? Like, it says right mold. Well, how do I know which one's the wrong mold? Huh. So, but here's plate B. And there are these 2 little pins here on the bottom. And there's 2 little things here on the bottom that would match, but they both have that. So I need to figure out which one goes where. Okay, it appears to be this more sunken in one, if I'm going by these pictures correctly. So I put the more sunken in one on the B with this little thing facing inward. And these are magnetic, like you can pull it off, but you can feel the pull of the magnet when you sit it in. And I'm guessing that is correct. And then flip it out. And again, making sure this pole faces the column. Okay, and then I already screwed on the handle. So that is our assembly. So let's give this a try. Okay, so if I did my math right when I was getting my supplies for this, the 1 3/4 hole punch is the right size for the 1 1/2 inch pin. I mean 1 1/4 inch pin, because you lose a bit of the edge where it gets folded down under. So that's why it has to be a bit bigger. And it does seem to be about the same size as these little Mylar pieces that they provided that go over top. So I got a couple pieces of scrapbook paper here. This first one is this little skull. I'm gonna punch that out. And you wanna center your image and make sure that there's enough around the edges, because like I said, you're gonna lose a bit of your edge when you make the pin. So there's our little skull. And the next one is this little, what's that called? Crystal ball with like a evil eye inside. And again, I want to make sure I'm centering my image and then have edges that are okay to lose around it. So there we go. So those are the 2 we're going to try. I'm doing 2 because chances are I'll mess up the first one. Although this does seem very similar to the pin maker I already have, so I think I've got it figured out. I think I'll figure it out. Okay, there we go. I think you can see this. Now we're gonna start, like, the B side is labeled. You can see if you guys can. As I pull the mold out. You can see here, the B side is actually labeled with a B, but there's nothing on the A side. But you start with the A side, of course, because A. You take the metal piece and you can see the A side has looks like that inside, and the metal piece fits perfectly in it like that. And then we just take our image and put it in top next, and it does fit in there perfectly. So I did the math right and I got the right size hole punch, so that's positive. And then our Mylar goes on top of that. I keep ripping it off. This is one problem I don't have with the other one. The molds never come out like that. The Mylar then is on top. It only swings one way, so that's good. You can see this here. These little things, why you have to make sure that they're facing this pole when you install it, because see how they hit this? It moves this thing to the right setting when you're assembling the pins. So let's start with the A, and all you do is just line that up and squeeze, and then we take the pin part, we put that over here in B, and see if I remember how to do this, and you put the part where you would pin it onto your clothes down. So you just slip it in there with that part down. I'll have to figure out how it's lined up to know which direction I'm making the pin go. That is something, oops. So the pin, this is the back of the pin, the front of the pin is down. And once I figure out the configuration, I'll be able to better line up my pictures with the pins. But let me flip that around, and you can see the A part is now gone because it's up in here. And then when we press down all the way and pull up and swing it around, boom, there's our completed pin. Ah, there we go. And you can see I totally messed up the alignment because like there's the pin. So I've got it the complete opposite direction. I've got it up and down instead of side to side. But let me try again and see if I can figure out that alignment bit. So back to the A side, put in the metal part, put in our image, our piece of Mylar, swing it around, and then our pin back with the part that you actually use as a pin down. Oh, and this one was a mess up. This one did not work. So you can see, this is what happens when they mess up. It didn't get pushed underneath the pin backing. So let's try again. You can't really use these parts again once they've gone through the machine. So that's pretty much just a loss. So I'm gonna go cut out another image for us because, you know, once they're damaged like this, they just don't work. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my new image. He's a little bit too big. I'm gonna lose a little bit of him, but that's fine. Let's try this again. We're gonna put pin, paper, Mylar, make sure it's pressed all the way down. Little pin back with the pin facing downward. All right, and that one did work. I still haven't gotten my alignment right yet though, because I still have it up and down like this. So it's just gonna take a little more experimenting for me to get that alignment right. But yeah, so I'm really happy with my new 1.5 inch pin machine. And I've now tried 2 different types of these machines. I've tried this one and this one. And they both, I'd say they work about the same. I get mess ups on that other one as well, so that's just par for the course. Occasionally one, for whatever reason, just doesn't connect right. I don't know if it's like something wrong with one of the pieces that you just can't see or what, but I'm super happy with my new pin badge machine. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this. Do you have a badge making machine? I know they make some really nice, really expensive ones. These are the, like, I guess, cheaper ones that most likely come from China, and because of that, their measurements are they're not in inches. Like some of the really nice expensive ones you can get, they're more accurate. So like when this says it's 1 1/4, it's actually not exactly 1 1/4. It normally tells you all that in the descriptions of the products, but I always thought that was something interesting and to keep in mind. But I've been plenty happy with these less expensive versions. The only thing I don't like is they only work with these plastic pin backs, so you can't have metal pin backs. But I mean, so far that hasn't been a problem for me. I've been making these small ones for a couple years now, and they seem to work fine. They seem to hold up rather well. So I guess thank you so much for watching me unbox my new button making machine. Sorry for all the weird angles. I wasn't sure the best way to film this. It's like my normal crafting overhead style I didn't think would, I mean, I guess it might have worked, but oh well, we did a different angle this time. Sorry about that. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, you can give it a thumbs down, but please leave me some constructive criticism in the comments below so that I can improve. And please subscribe to the channel. And I hope everyone is just staying happy, healthy, and safe in this incredibly crazy world we are living in. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye!